Friday night. Tomorrow's Saturday morning. Saturday morning means tomorrow morning I'm making a mold. I've been waiting all week. I'm doing the mold for my latest sculpture. I'm doing this sweet transvestite right here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror. Finished the sculpture on Wednesday, but I go to work every day, so I can't make a mold. I'm at the office, so I gotta wait till Saturday morning. And tomorrow morning I'll get up and I'll make the mold. This was not an easy likeness to get. Very difficult. You know, usually sculpts take me a couple of weeks to do. This one, the first week, I wasn't getting the likeness, and I was getting worried. But I pulled my act together last weekend, and I got it. But it just goes to show the smallest little details can make or break a likeness. All right, it's mold making day. Here I am. I just put the saran wrap on the front of the sculpture. Now, this clay wall was a lot of work because, as you can see, I'm having the seam line go around the ear. Let's see if I can get that sharper. That way the seam is going to be here, going down the neck, not going right down and having the entire ear completely on the back of the mold. Doing it this way, this is an automatic, because I put one key right there on the center. But this is a natural key, because when the mold is finished, the seam line is going to go boom, boom. So that is going to be a natural key. I don't need to put keys on many different spots. Okay, well, I just did the beauty coat, so the back half of the mold is done. Doing the clay wall around the ear did take a lot longer. Took double the amount of time, but it's going to be worth it, especially because it snowed this overnight, so there's no way I would be able to go outside in this cold weather and use the garden hose to clean out the ear if I did the entire ear on the back half of the mold, so this was a smart choice. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break, let that set, and then do the front. All right, so the back of the mold is done. I tilted this, it's on its back now, and I'll do the front half. So now I'm going to remove the clay from the clay wall. And actually, I'm going to take some of this clay. I'm not going to throw it away just yet. Some of these big pieces. And I'll show you why. These little pieces I can get rid of. So it's 8:30 in the morning. I started this mold. I got down here at 5 a.m. But that's when I was just cutting the clay for the clay wall and spraying Krylon. But I started at 5, so it's, 3.5 hours so far. And I'm about halfway done. This is how long it takes. Got a really nice edge going here. Got to knock off little things like that, but no big deal. All right, so as you can see, let me get over here. It's a little piece of ultracalin there. Let me get, hold on. These things are awesome, by the way. Rechargeable air blower. All right. Let me lower this and zoom in. Now, the back half of the ear is on the back side of the mold. This way, when I'm going to clean the clay out, I'm going to have access to this ear from the back and the front. If I had done the clay wall, and let me zoom out again. If I had done the clay wall straight this way, the entire ear would have been on the back of the mold. That means pulling a mask out, you're pulling the entire ear out of a mold, which can cause, if the latex isn't dry, it can cause problems. That means also the seam line would be right here, and if you have a bad seam in your mold, you'd have, that'd be a lot of work. This way, the seam line's on the back of the ear. So it's much, I think, it takes more time to make the clay wall, because you have to go literally on the ear you saw in the video earlier. It's more difficult, but I think it was totally worth it to do it that way. Anyway, I'm going to do something else now. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm about to start doing the splash coat on the front. I want to show another little thing I do. I take wet clay, and I always cut extra wet clay when I do my clay walls, and I put them on aside in a container so they don't, dry out. And then I take the edge of once I'm ready, to do the front, and I take all that clay off that you saw before, I line the edge of the mold, outer edge of the mold, with wet clay. This way, when I'm doing the front, if any excess ultracal spills over, it's not going directly onto the ultracal on the back. It's going to go off to the side, and I can peel these off. It's an extra step I do that I thought of because it just makes both edges of the mold much easier to see. If ultracal is spilling over, it's going to make it harder to find where the edge is. I don't know. I just been doing this for a while. It helps. So that's what I do. Now also, I only did one. I did a couple of pry points just at the top, and I just did one. Why is my brain not working now? Well, anyway, I'll think of it later. But you see what I was talking about before. This mold is going to go, the front half is going to have this dip down. And, a key, duh. Yes, I did one big key up here. I've been up since 5 a.m. One big key over here at the top. And these ears, because the mold will dip down, is literally a natural key. It's going to do it on its own. So, that's another reason to do the clay wall going around the ear, because you get an automatic key on both sides of the sculpt. So anyway, enough talking. I'm going to now, and another good thing is also when I lay the mold on its back, then you can see underneath if there's any spots I missed sculpting. But I looked at this and I think I'm pretty good. I think I got all the detail I want. This is not sharp enough. There we go. Now, another thing I'm going to do is, I have a little paper cup here. I'm going to mix up a small batch, not even, a little bit, like a few ounces. And I'm going to, with this brush, not a chip brush, this brush, I'm going to mix up a small batch of ultracal, and I'm going to do inside the ears, and inside the mouth, and inside the nostrils first. Then I'll mix up ultracal over there and do the whole thing. The reason I do that is I don't want any air bubbles. And even if I'm really careful, I find that these particular areas, nostrils and inner mouth and ears, just do a separate batch and do it with a small brush, just so you can make sure you're getting it in there. Ultracal sticks to ultracal, so it's not like, it's not going to stick when I do that, and then I do the main splash coat. Anyway, enough of me talking. I'm going to get back to work here. Okay, the splash coat is down on the front half of the sculpture. So I did the ears and the nose and inside the mouth separately first. And then I mixed up my ultracal and did the whole thing. And, I went over it with the chip brush, everything. And so hopefully I have no air bubbles, no issues. I'm going to let this set and do another coat, but thicker, and keep moving on. All right. That coat has been added. The next step is just to do the burlap layer and the beauty coat. Got my burlap and my container there. And I'm going to let this set a bit. Then I'm going to do my burlap. And that'll be that. Then we'll let it set and take it apart. Okay. Beauty coat on the front. This mold is done. I'm gonna let it sit for about a half an hour. It is about almost 10:30, so it's been 5.5 hours since I started. Pretty good. So I'm gonna go walk away and take a break. All right, we have a finished mold, and I'm going to pry it apart right now. I always write on the front of the mold in Sharpie what the mold is and the date or the month and year. So I have Tim Curry, Dr. Frankenfurter, 1/25. This is the first mold of 2025. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove, remember when I showed all that clay I was putting on the sides to block the ultracal from spilling over? Well, I'm going to remove that right now and throw it out. So first, I'm going to peel it away. On all sides. I always know when the mold is ready, when I can write on this with the Sharpie, because if you start to write on it and it starts to like bleed into the ultracal, it's not done yet. It's not completely set. So it's still warm, which is good, because you want to, it's best, I feel, to take when you're working with wet clay, to separate it when it's warm, because that way the clay is still soft in there and it'll pry apart a little easier. All right, now, I put a couple of pry points on the top, so I'm going to move this around. I always line my sculpting table before I start a sculpt with I separate a garbage bag in half and tape it down. It's a little trick I do. Black hefty bag. All right, let me just move this. Okay, good. All right, screwdriver. So my pry points are right here. I have the tripod, the little monopod, on a separate table because this table shakes a lot. And I know from experience that the phone would fall off the table onto the ground, which is not what we want with our phones. All right. You got that clay from that pry point. All right. There's some little pieces hanging over the edge here that are going to come off anyway. Yeah, little things, that's it. Little pieces. You see, because I put that clay wall up before I did the front, see how I have a nice, you can see the seam right there. That's the seam of the, right there. All right, but let me pry this apart. Let me start this. So I'm going to take my hammer, I'm going to gently knock into it a bit. Tap, tippy tap tap. Not much. Okay, it's already separate. It's already coming apart. There we go. All right, great. Now, I guess I'm going to stand this up. Be easier, have more leverage. Let me stand this up. It's heavy now because I have the sculpture and the mold. Whoa. Okay. I want to show you the side view and see how that looks. Let me raise this up a bit. All right. Okay. So it looks like the front's going to come off first. I'm just going to pry it from other spots. Here, over there. Should be able to just manually pull it out. Oh, you know what? Just in case, because there could be some sharp edges here and there, I'm going to put on these gloves. These gloves are like bid through everything. They're covered in like latex bits and everything. But they're perfect because I don't want to cut my hands on a sharp piece of ultracal. until I let's separate this a little more over there, and oh yeah, right there. Okay, there we go. Hopefully I have a good mold here, because that was a hard sculpt. All right, so there's the clay in the face is still in there, but now I get to have the fun of cleaning the clay out of the mold, which is not going to be in the video because that's going to be boring. Okay, there's the mold, cleaned out. I cleaned up the mess around here. I just have to mop. There's the mop. I'm gonna mop the floor because it's very dusty and everything, but I cleaned up, threw all the clay out. I got my garbage pail here. It's filled with crap. And my mold's right there, letting it sit out. I did fix it. There was a couple of small little air holes here and there. You know, I always get a few little ones. Fix those. That's drying right now. It's a little after noon, so it's like 12:15. So I started 5 a.m. So that's like 7 hours, 7.25, but that's literally from coming down here with coffee to having a finished, cleaned up workshop. So 7 hours, pretty much a work day. But now I have a good mold, and I'm gonna pour some latex later this afternoon. I have to take a shower and a break. Okay, it's the day after making the mold. Last night I poured some latex. Since this is going to be foam filled, I don't need to have that much latex in it. So I did a painted layer, drained it, and then I poured some latex in, sloshed it around, and drained that. And that's enough for a thin skin. So it's been overnight in front of a fan. And looks good to me. So I'm going to foam fill this right now. Well, I just took the back of the mold off, and you see, I wanted to explain. You see how easy it is because when you make the clay wall around the back of the ear, there's no undercuts at all here. So this just popped right off, and now, you know, and I always sign my sculpts on the back. Foam filling, and because I had a box fan blowing in this from like 8 o'clock last night till this morning, and I came down here around 5 a.m. So the latex was pretty much cured. It's probably totally cured. I mean, look, but what I've discovered is the BJB foam that I use, which is TC 274 Part B, and A and B. That's a whole another case of it down there that I just ordered last month. When it foams up, when it sets, it gets warm. I discovered this when I started using it a few years ago. So when it doesn't get hot, but it definitely it warms up. It gets pretty heated. And I feel that heat in the mold really kind of cures the latex. Even if it's not completely dry, if it's just set, it does heat it because, as you can tell, this is completely dry latex in there. So I don't know, it works out. So you don't need to like wait a day. You can just wait. I mean, the curing time, I think it says on the container 30 minutes, but I usually wait an hour. And because of the face, because of the thin areas, I'm going to give this a little more time. I have to go out and do some errands and stuff. So probably around 9 or 10 o'clock this morning, I'll take the front out. And hopefully I have a good pull. Hopefully the eye holes where the eyes are going to be inserted, those are very thin eye openings, and I got to be really careful taking this out slowly. So anyway, so far so good. Ta-da! I didn't shoot any video of the exciting part of the video where I pour latex in a mold or let it sit and dry or pull it out of a mold. we went right to the foam-filled cast here. So, this is it. It's already been cleaned up and ready for painting. I didn't bother cleaning up the seam here since it's going to be hair covering it anyway. I just made sure to do the most important part, which is the part you're going to see, the neck. That looks good. Same over here. I did see the seam line. Make it sharp here. And then it goes in the back of the ear. That way, as you see, didn't have to worry about having a seam coming down here. It's on the side of the ear. And he's going to be wearing a wig anyway, so you're never going to see his ears. Really, you're only going to be seeing that. Anyway, enough talking. I want to paint this damn thing. Here we go. Okay, started to put some color down here. He's a very pale character, so it's hard to tell, but there's a little flesh, and then his face is paler. It's more of a pale lavender. That's where we are right now. Okay, so the face, the flesh tone, got a little bit of the rouge going on the cheeks. I penciled in where the eye makeup is going to go, but I'm not doing that yet. Right now, I'm going to paint the inside of the mouth and the teeth and gums to get that out of the way. Then I can concentrate on the lipstick, the eye area. It's very important to get that right. And that's pretty much it. It's a very simple face. It's very clean. The eyes and lips really are what's going to sell this, because his eyebrows, it's almost painted on. His actual eyebrows are there, but they're drawn on as well. So that's going to be, the lips and the eyebrows are going to be what really sells this. So I'm going to do the inside of the mouth now. It's amazing how starting to add the lipstick really starts to bring the likeness in. So I painted the inside of the mouth with dark brown, painted the teeth. Didn't do the gums yet, but I did the lips, 2 different colors of red. Now I have to mix up a little bit more of the red with a little bit of black, because he has a very fine line on the outside edge of both upper and lower lips. It's very fine. It's not black. It's almost like a dark gray, but I'm going to make it a darker red. I think black, even the gray, would look weird on a mask for some reason, so I'm going to do that. Okay, the lips and teeth and gums and inside of the mouth are done. So, in my opinion, if I look at this and I just look at it like that, I think it looks pretty good. But the eyes and the eye makeup make such a big part of this character that, but I think I'm on the right track. Well, now we're starting to get together here. I have to take a break now. I put the first coat of makeup around his eyes. Still have a lot to go, but I have to take a break and do some work upstairs. All right, I worked on those that eye makeup, but I had the color wrong. It's really more of a gray than a blue gray, so I fixed that. Still have to do the painted on black eye. He has painted on eyelashes, and the eyes need to go in. Eyelashes need to go on. There's things to do, and I might want to, I don't know, maybe the cheeks. I thought maybe they need a little bit more of a red, but maybe not. I think I'm going to leave it. I don't want to overdo it. Anyway, I have to take a break. Okay, I think this is done. It's painted. Put this light over here. All right, so now I'm gonna paint a little gloss on this. I'm gonna insert the eyeballs. I'm gonna put eyelashes on it, and then we'll do hair. Okay, so we're painted and glossed. We are ready for eyeballs, and eyelashes, and hair. Okay, it's time for eyeballs. This is tricky. I want him to be looking straight ahead, so it's always difficult to put these things in correctly. Shit. That's wrong. That's better. I have to play around with these a little bit after I get them in. I want them to look push this up. Okay. Not bad. Oh wait. Get in there. Get in there. Okay. Not bad. I gotta sit this up now. All right, let me see. This one needs to shift a little bit this way. Let me see. This one goes down a little. Oh, right there. I think this. Oh wait, no. This one needs to move a little bit to the right. Just a little bit more. Nope, too much. I think that's. Oh wait. A little bit. Wait. Oh, this one needs to move up a little bit. Just a little. I think that's good. We're done. Okay, well, a lot's been done since the last clip. Now, the wig, it's not styled. It's still not cut completely yet. It's not the right shape. The face is done, except what I have to do right now is sideburns. So I have to add sideburns to both sides because this is incorrect. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, so that's where we're leaving it for tonight. I glued in the sideburns, but they're way too thick. I can't do anything until the glue dries. I'm going to wait till tomorrow morning before work and trim those because he's got sideburns. No, wait, not like, see? So you have to put in the hair really thick. And the hair needs to be styled, but it's really getting there. The face, I think, looks really good. I just added some more, it's very harsh. Just added some more gloss to his lips. So, you might be wondering why Dr. Frankenfurter is upside down. That's because earlier I was looking at it and I realized I really didn't like the teeth, the upper teeth that I had sculpted in the. It just looked, I don't know, it was the only thing that was bothering me. So I took a risk and I took my X-Acto knife and I cut out the teeth. I cut them out just in case I wanted to put them back in. And what I did is I got a set of castings of my plastic castings of my own upper teeth. And I cut out the foam and I shoved them in, and right now I put some epoxy in there and they're drying. So that's why it's upside down, because because they're sitting in there drying. Once the epoxy dries in 10 minutes, I'll put it back up. But when I shoved them in before and I looked at it, it looked so much more realistic, because, sculpted teeth, they just looked cartoony and it didn't look right. And this is going to look so much better. As soon as I put them in, I knew it was the right decision. So, this is, when you're making something, you have to be critical and you have to really look at it and say, what's working and what doesn't? And those teeth were not working. So that's where we are. Okay, we're closer along. So I trimmed the sideburns, trimmed the hair a bit. There are a few things, like the back of the head. I had to glue some hair in back there. Behind this hair, there's a lot of, I'm going to lift this up. All that hair, I don't know if you can see that. There's a lot of hair there that I added. It's to fill it out, because the wig really didn't cover the back. And even though you're not going to see the back of the head, I have to do it the way I feel. So that has to dry. So when I get home, because right now it's like 6:30 in the morning, and I'm going to go upstairs and get ready and leave for work. So when I come home tonight, that glue will be dry, and I'll thin out the hair under the wig in the back, so it won't be sticking out here as much. But I think, and I just glossed the teeth. And I got to tell you, I think removing the sculpted teeth and adding in castings of my own teeth was a good idea. Why is this not sharp? I don't know. Anyway, it's not done yet, but it's getting there. I think the face is really good. I still have to, style the hair more and do what I said earlier. But so far, I think it's coming out. Okay, many things have changed. Let me explain a few things. I added this hair on the sides because his ear really shouldn't be showing. And the ears were showing with the sideburns. So I added this hair. It's very thick. The glue is still wet. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow morning to thin this out. It's not going to look like this on both sides. I added a little bit of, like, this is upholstery foam. I extended the shoulders a little bit. I got this green material. It's wrapped around like his, just to show a little bit of that material, and I put the necklace on. So, the hair, this hair obviously needs to be styled in the morning and thinned out. But after that, he should be done, but I just have to style the hair in the morning, and we'll see what happens. And that's it. It's done. I mocked up that little, shoulder area with the green fabric, and I put the necklace on, and I styled the hair, and that's Frankenfurter. Tim Curry. Pretty happy how it came out. It looks like him. There were some things I learned along the way that I fixed. So the next copy I make, I'm sure will be a little easier, because I'll know what not to do, with the teeth and how I did the hair and stuff. So, I hope you enjoyed watching the process of me from the sculpture to the finished piece. And that's about it. So don't dream it, be it.
It's astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll. But listen closely.
Not for very much longer.
I've got to keep control.